Good morning, everyone. This is Julie Heights, the chirpy card maker of quilts and more. And today I have a really fun, it's a very simple quilt block, but we're going to step it up. It is going to be fun. And if you're like me, in the last 24 hours, I have probably done 24 of these blocks because they are so much fun. The colors are going to give a really cool feel to a country vibe, and I think that you're really going to like it. So hi, Kathy and Sheila, Linda, Vesta, thank you for being here. Let's see, what can we talk about in the Stampin' Up world? Product of the month. I do not know if it has sold out yet, but with a qualifying order of $75, you can get this beautiful 12 by 12 DSP in the most beautiful blues for $5. I see a lot of really beautiful projects coming with that. And every month they're going to do this. So there's not going to be celebration in January. This product of the month program has kind of taken over that. And as far as I know, it's going to be like for the next 5 months. So it'll be exciting to see what is going to be offered to us for the $5. And let's see what else. So there's no barn quilt block of the month in December. It's a month to just relax. Everybody's got a lot going on with family and the holidays, so we're going to take that off. And then starting in 2026, the barn quilts are going to be every other month. And if you're interested in that kit, go to the Chirpy page, look for a tab that says featured, and there should be a pin there that has the Google form that you can read all about it and send that back to me. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Peggy, Melinda, Dorothy, Linda, Marilyn. Let's see, who else am I? I'm really excited. Hey, Sherry. Cindy was excited. She had posted that she was going to get to hang out with us this morning, so that is exciting. Dorothy, let's see. I was trying to find, it's scrolling so fast that I don't know where to go here. Hi, Sharon. Okay, so I am going to flip the camera around and we're going to get started. And while I'm doing that, please greet each other and say good morning to one another. Okay, now I got to find my widget. Okay, where is it? Where's my camera? There we go. Okay. All right. That looks good. I'm just going to rearrange some things on my desk. Now, I'm going to move my camera up, so if you get motion sickness, you might want to just look away for a second. I try not to do it too fast. And let's zoom in a little bit. Put that up there. That should be good. So how's the weather where everybody is? It is cold here. I mean, cold. And it's supposed to be like even colder tomorrow morning. So we're getting this Arctic blast. And there's Cindy. Cindy, I'm so glad that you could make the live. Hi, Darlene. I see that like the southern part of the country is getting a lot of rain. Here we're getting the Arctic blast that I know covers a lot of us. We might as well just, -1. Linda. Ooh, that's cold. Is that with the wind chill or just by itself? Hi, Diane. She's got snow in central New York. And Judy says it's cold in Florida too. She's got her long pants and long sleeves on. Yikes. If you're cold that far, I guess it is cold outside. Oh, but Linda's got 60s in Florida, so that's not too bad. and it's balmy in Central Oregon. Darlene is in Winnipeg, so, and it is cold. And I guess I would expect it to be cold there. Oh, that's the regular temp, and yeah, you're used to it. You know, Linda, I am really hoping that I get a chance to go back birding there in Duluth come next month or February. You know, I love the cold. If you are dressed for it to be outdoors, like last year when we went to Duluth, I went to a store locally and I bought the goods that I needed to stay warm. And, you know, that's part of it. If you're going to be out in the elements, you need to dress for it. And I love the Duluth area in winter. The black spruce and the birch trees, it is just absolutely gorgeous up there. So I'm hoping to make a trip back with my friends, but I haven't heard anybody say anything yet about planning a birding trip. So we'll see. Okay, so let's get started. Yesterday I did post some prep work for you if you want to craft along. I'm going to be working with the Traditional Labels bundle. I love this. And I love these dies. I'm going to be using the banner die. And I'm actually going to do some stamping. We'll see how that goes. But I'm going to use the sentiment, Sending Love and Joy, and Season's Greetings. They have that nice curve to them that fits in that die really well. So that's where the sentiments and my label's going to come from. Another product that I want to share with you, I don't want you to miss it. It's called Silent Snowfall DSP. It's an embossed white. Let's see if we can get it on camera. If you can see these really pretty embossed snowflakes. I love that Stampin' Up! Is giving us some embossed background paper, because in quilt cards we can really customize our quote quilting by using different textures, making it almost look like we had it custom quilted. So this is the Silent Snowfall. And I have to tell you, this is not basic white. This is really like an Arctic white, and it's absolutely gorgeous on the Secret Sea cardstock. I mean, the contrast is, it's a wow. It's a very bright white. So, if you get a chance, take a look at it. And I would get some to put in your stash. Okay, so our card base is a A2. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it down the middle at 4 1/4. And you're going to need 2 because we're going to make 2 quilt blocks today. Nothing fancy about the card base at all. So we've got our layer there. And then I'm using some gold foil. Now the gold foil is unavailable right now, but if you've got any gold specialty paper, I have a lot of the brushed gold left, so I am about out of the foil. So for all the cards that I did yesterday, I used the brushed gold. And as soon as the foil comes back, I'll order some more. But I'm hanging on to my last sheet until more comes back in stock. So this square is 3 1/4 inches. And again, you'll need 2 of those. And then we're going to use 2 3-inch squares of Pool Party. Pool Party is that cool blue-green that gives you just that nice, cool, icy feel. And this is a retired embossing folder, but it's got little snowflakes in it, and I thought that went pretty well. So 2 of those. Let's see here. And then we're going to go through the rest of the pieces block by block, okay? So to get started, let's pull out our 4 1-inch squares. And these are from the Traditions of Christmas Designer Series paper. I'm using the same 4 patterns so that you can see how the 2 different cards that we're going to make look with the same paper. So I've got a green, a red, a secret C, and then this pattern here that's got cherry cobbler, gold, and real red in it. So those are my 4 1-inch squares. I'm going to get the rest of this out of my way for now. Hi, Marilyn. Oh, Marilyn's got brush gold from ages ago. Yeah, you know, with Christmas and the way that that gold foil works so pretty with the Traditions of Christmas Designer Series paper, it's a no wonder it's gone. Hi, G. How are you? Hi, Lori. Oh, feels like 14 in Logansport. Burr, burr, burr. Hey, Tina. Hello. Tina, I got your card. Thank you. Let's bring in our trimmer. Okay. And bring in that 3-inch square of Pool Party. Now, I am going to put some score lines on this so that it helps me line up the squares of Designer Series paper. You can do this with a pencil. You won't be able to, you shouldn't be able to see your pencil marks, but I am going to just go ahead and score mine. And I'm going to score it right over my embossing. Okay, so I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. Okay, so 3/4 of an inch. You won't be able to see this really well, but I will. I turned it. So we're just going around our block at 3/4 of an inch. When I say that these are one of the easiest quilt blocks ever, I am not joking, but they are going to be a wow simple. Okay, so I've got my score lines on all 4 sides. And let's see, is there anything else we need to do? Nope, I don't think so. We can put the trimmer to the side for the moment. Okay, let me get this pop-up thing off of my computer. Hi, Peg. 7 degrees in Iowa. Ooh, we're in the 20s and I'm complaining it's cold. Okay, so we've got our Pool Party. And we're going to take our 4 squares, and all we're going to do is we're going to set them on point. So I'm going to use my lines to help keep my points, keep me straight, and it'll keep my blocks straight also. So the corners of my square should fall on those lines. So we'll take this first one. Now I have stepped up versions to show you, and I'm going to show you those as we go along. Instead of waiting to the very end, I thought it would be fun if I just showed them to you as we go. So there's the first one. And I just want to kind of rub this because I do have a textured background. If the textured background is a little busy for you, or you really feel a lot of bumps, you can turn it over and you can glue your squares to the deboss side. Look how pretty that is. You can't go wrong on either side. But if you've got a really intense, lofty embossing, you may want to go to the other side. But those little bumps are not that bad. So I'm going to turn this counterclockwise one time so that I'm always working up here in the corner. And since I have two reds, I want to separate them. And just line up those points. This one can go up a little bit. If they're not completely touching, that's okay. I'm going to turn it counterclockwise. Now I'm going to bring in that square of Secret C. And it just goes right on top of the one we just did. Okay. Now this very simple quilt block is from the Maggie Malone's book of 5,500 quilt blocks. I showed you that book in a live a couple weeks ago. And believe it or not, there's two names that this goes by in her book. Triangles and Squares and Mosaic number 3. So this little simple quilt block of just 4 squares turned on point, that is what Maggie's book calls them. Remember, a quilt block can have quite a few different names. So I'm just referring to Maggie's book. Has anybody got Maggie's book, by the way, since I shared it with you? I'll tell you, you'll never, ever have to wonder what kind of a quilt block you can make, because 5,500 patterns. Now, a lot of them can be, they're geared towards quilting. So you're looking at, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry about that. There's very intricate quilt patterns and stuff in there, but even the quilt blocks that we can do, you'll never be able to make them all, I don't think. So, hey Alice, good morning. Hi Peggy, I'm glad you're here. We just got started. Cindy's got the book and loves it. Yay. I'm sure you can find it secondhand, even on maybe Etsy or maybe Amazon also. Mine was gifted to me, but I'm sure that you can find it. It's a big book. Okay, so here we have our simple quilt pattern. I mean, that's it, but we're not done with it. Okay, so we're going to add to this to make it more interesting. So, I'm going to bring in one of my labels. I'm going to bring in Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to stamp Mossy Meadow on top of the old olive. And for this one, I'm using Sending Love and Joy. Okay, and I'm going to have to bring this, I'm going to have to bring it down, you guys, just so that I can see what I'm doing. Hopefully this turns out good. Yay! Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, we're going to put this away. I need to close this up before something happens. And we're going to get that block out of the way. So there's our label. Now we're going to bring in our card base. we're going to adhere that Silent Snowfall embossed white. That's going to go on the front of the Secret Sea card base. The contrast, if you can see it in person, it's just so striking. Okay, now I'm going to take the gold foil and I'm going to keep it up here towards the top. So it's kind of like the Polaroid layout. Okay, we're going to put that down. Now, if you didn't want to waste any of this gold foil, you could take another square die and cut it out so that you can, you know, use it on another project. That probably would have been the smart thing for me to do. But I got excited making all of these cards, and I just used them as is. But if you like to save your paper, or you could even take a punch, let's say, you know, take one of your punches and punch the center out. Just make sure that you don't take too much of it out, because this has to leave that 1/4 inch, that border all the way around it, okay? But there are things that you can do to save using all this beautiful gold foil. Okay. And you want to be very careful with the gold foil, because it will show if you've got any adhesive that you transfer onto it, you will see it. So you're going to want to keep that in mind. Now I'm going to turn this over because I'm going to use some dimensionals, and we're going to pop this up. Now, if you're going to pop yours up and you've cut anything out of that square, make sure that it's in towards the center enough that, you know, maybe if somebody tilts the card to the side, they don't see it. Okay. And just going to center that. Okay, so there's what our card is looking like so far. We're going to pop up our sentiment. These colors just make such a simple quilt pattern look so, like, in, you know, modern, like in the now. So I think that it's just really, really cool. And this we're going to put down here at the bottom. Okay. Now, I want to put something in the center there. And so I had mentioned in the prep about a snowflake, and I forgot to get a picture of it. But this snowflake right here that I did in the gold is from, I've got it right here. This is from Snowflake Kisses dies. Okay, it's that, I think that's snowflake right there. So that's where my snowflake came from. I've got a dimensional on the back, a mini. And I am just going to put that right in the center. Now this lends to the snowflake embossing that is in our 2 layers there. Okay, I used the sequins, which are available again. These are called traditional sparkling sequins. They are orderable again. So I've got them in my cart. I better not wait too long to place my order, or they'll be gone. And I've got one in the center. I'm going to work in 3s. So I'm just going to take a couple more of these. And I'm just going to put, you got a large, a medium, and a small. So I'm using one of each size. And I'm done. This card is done. Now I want to show you some stepped up versions of this same card. Let me get my examples here. So this one here, the only thing that's different is I used the smallest square from Stylish Shapes, the dies. I took the smallest square and I used that to cut out my squares, and it gives you that stitching. So that's a stepped up way, but I've got one more to show you. I'm going to step it up even more. Okay. And, you know, I am amazed at my brain sometimes because I don't think of things like right off the top. But all of these ideas kept coming to me. That's why I made 24 cards, because the ideas kept coming. So to step this one up even a little bit more, I turned my squares into presents. Okay? So I just took some of the gold foil and I laid it, I glued it down with one long strip and then the short strips on the side. Now this bow right here is from, this is a retired set, but Christmas Friends has this little bow right here. And so I die cut the bows and I turned my squares into presents. Okay, so those are some ideas that you can be thinking of as you go along, and you might find ways to step yours up too. Hi Kathy, hi Ginger. And what was, oh, you're okay Kathy, we're just getting started really. These are so easy. Madalena, hello my friend. And Ginger's here from the great state of Texas. Hi, Alice. Okay, so those are just some things that you can do with those squares. I think it's cute all by itself. These are so easy to make. The embossing in the backgrounds, all of that really helps you take such a simple quilt pattern and give it a wow factor. Okay, so that is our first card. Okay, let's set these out of the way and let's get ready to do our second card. Now, for the second card, what did I do with my supplies? Okay, so the card base, everything stays the same. The card base, the layer, the gold foil, and we've got an embossed pool party. I wanted to show you using the same pieces of cardstock and designer series paper, two different quilt blocks. Okay? Tina, you're funny. Well, thank you, Linda. Okay, so we've got 4 of the same pieces of designer series paper, but they're 1 3/8 inch square. So they're larger squares. Okay. Larger squares. We're going to do some cutting of these squares, but they're the exact same paper. I've got the exact same label. Another thing that I'm using is a 3/8 by 3 inch piece of early espresso, and I gave this some wood grain texture with the 3D embossing folder. So let's get our stamping out of the way. So I'm going to bring back in that Mossy Meadow ink pad. And this one's going to say Season's Greetings. Oh, let's see if I can do this. I'm way out of my comfort zone because when I stamp, I practically stamp in my lap. Okay, not too bad. Now I can get all of this ink out of my way. So we're done with that. We got our label. And let's move these pieces out of the way, our layers out of the way. Bring in your trimmer. And we're going to do some scoring on our pool party. It's not the same scoring as we did in the first card. We're going to turn it on point, and I don't need my scoring to go all the way to the end. All I need to do is make an X in the center of this block. So it's on point. All I need is to make an X. So then we'll turn it. Okay, see how I've got just an X in the middle? That's all I'm looking for there. Okay, now, since we've got the trimmer out, let's set that aside. Bring in that piece of early espresso. We need to subcut this strip into 4 pieces that are 5/8 of an inch long. So 5/8 of an inch, I'm working on the right side of my trimmer. This is between 1/2 and 3/4. And I just need 4 of these. We're using the same 4-patch based quilt pattern, but we're just going to do things a little differently. Okay. And I have a little piece that's left over. That's a scrap. Let's see. That's all we need with our trimmer. You can put that away. Now, what we need to do with our squares, pick a side that you can see really well because we need to make some tick marks, okay? And I'm going to bring in a ruler because we need to find 11/16. And 11/16 is the line just behind, or, well, it depends on how you look at it. It could be the line that's before 3/4 of an inch, or you can look at it as, okay, I found 3/4 of an inch. I need to back off by 1 line, okay? So just find the line that's between 5/8 and 3/4, and that's the line that you want to be working with. I'm going to set, let's see, I can see this side better. I'm going to set my block right on top of my ruler, and I'm going to find that 11/16, and I am going to make a tick mark there. And we're going to do that for all 4 squares. So 11/16 is 1/2 of 1 3/8. We're just trying to find our center. I'm going to flip this over so that I can see my tick mark. And this green I can see pretty well. 3/4, 11/16 right there. Okay, so you can put that away. You can put away your pencil. Now you can do your cutting in the trimmer if you want. I'm going to use my snips and I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay, so it doesn't matter where we start, just find your tick mark. We're going to go from that tick mark to the opposite corners. Okay, we're making an isosceles triangle where we got two sides the same length and the base will be a little bit shorter, so they're not of equal size. So I'm gonna put the inside of my snips right on that tick mark, and I'm just gonna eyeball cutting to that opposite corner. Now you can save these right triangles if you want. You can make things out of those. I'm not going to probably do that, but okay. So here we have our triangle. Okay, we need to do that to all four of these squares. Now remember which side is right side up when we go to glue these down, okay? Okay, and let's see here. Here's another one. Okay, we have that one there. And I'm going to show you a star pattern that you can make from your scraps here. Let's give you a little bonus, and if you want to play with it, you can. Okay, so I'm going to keep my triangles for my block over here. But here is a type of star that you can create with these. Now, mind you, these are going to move around. I'm going to, what did I do here? Oh, I don't want that one right here. I want my reds to be across from each other. And then my greens can go like here. Or, you know, you could go every other one. But here is a star pattern that you could make. So your square, your inside of your square is going to be 1 3/8 inches. And this is a pretty big star. This would be like your focal point of your quilt block because it's so big. We're looking at, ooh, it's like 4 1/4 right there. But I mean, if you wanted to do a card that's 5 by 7, or make it even like a 6-inch square card, this would make a really pretty block if you didn't want to throw those tips away. Okay, so just a little bonus there if you want to play. You could also, if you wanted to, you could trim off the end here to make the base a little bit shorter, and that would make your block smaller. But just make sure that you're trimming off the same amount from the widest end of those triangles. That would make your block smaller so that you could use a standard A2 card. Okay, so let's see, where are we at? Okay, bring in your pool party and your 4 rectangles of early espresso. Now I'm gonna put my pool party on point. Okay, and what I'm going to do is where this is going to get glued is with this on point. I want my early espresso to be vertical, but I want my corners to meet on the outside, go to the outside edges of my pool party. Okay, So just keep that in mind when you're gluing these down. Come on, glue. You couldn't have, oh, it did. Okay. Like you couldn't have like sealed up on me that quick. Okay. So I'm using the lines on my grid paper to kind of help me here. And also, you can't see it, but I can see this score line that's coming right through the center, and my rectangle should be kind of like straddling that on either side. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about it. I just want to make sure that I'm down here edge to edge. And I'm just going to keep turning this and putting those rectangles in the same space. Okay. There we go. We're just going to keep spinning it. Now, this quilt block was inspired by a pattern I saw on Pinterest. I think it was, I don't know if it was a tree skirt or if it wasn't a quilt. It was a smaller project. But I fell in love with it and thought, oh my goodness, that is so doable. So here we go. And actually, I toyed around with this same block when I was designing the October, I got a burr here. I'm going to put that up at the top. When I was designing the October barn quilt, it was one of the options that I gave myself as to one of the blocks. And then I thought, you might want to hold on to that block for a Facebook Live. So I did. I've been sitting on it for a couple of months now. Okay, so we've got our rectangles. Okay, now it doesn't matter where you start from here, but what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our triangles, and your tip will always go to the center. So when you find your X here, that tip should line up with that score line, and it's going to cover up part of your rectangle. And look at that, you've got a tree. Now, your edges should kind of go all the way across. If they don't worry about it. Okay, and I am just going to work all the way around. And put my trees in. Again, my tip of my tree should meet in the cross section of the center. How many of you saw this one coming? Did anybody see this coming? What was the giveaway? Was it the early espresso? Was it, you know, I'd love to know how many of you were on to me. Okay, again. Go up there. So all of the tips of our trees should come together in the center. Now, because I did cut my trees by hand, my triangles aren't perfect, but I'm not worried about it. Linda says the second you cut the tree trunks. And Melinda knew it was going to be a tree. Yay. And Melinda says the early espresso gave it away for her too. Okay, I'm going to show you the mini version of this as we get going. That was my inspiration when I was designing for a barn quilt. I'll show you the mini version. And one more. Isn't this like just the cutest pattern ever? So we have our four patch because we have something in all four corners. This time they're on point, where the first block that we did, we kept them square. Is that not the cutest? I just love it. I just think it is so much fun. So here's the mini version. This is a 2 1/4 inch square. So that's the mini version. That's what I've been sitting on for a couple of months, waiting to do a Facebook Live and make it a little larger so it's easier for your hands to, handle the pieces. Cindy too. Early espresso. Now, if I hadn't used the Timber 3D embossing folder, would you still have thought what you thought? Because I think the texture gave it away. It's like, oh, this is a tree. It looks just like a tree trunk. Okay, so here's our tree. And notice I'm not doing any quilting because my background is already got the embossing or the quote quilting. So these are just nice, clean, flat cuts of designer series paper. I've got the texture in the tree trunk. That could be custom quilting. So, we don't always have to run everything through an embossing folder, when we're done. We need to look at our product in another way and see, what does it do for us? And I am so impressed with Stampin' Up! Giving us all of these embossed backgrounds here. The other week, I showed you the white that has the texture with, I think it was a diagonal, and then like, I can't remember what the pattern is. But there's also, you can get the white that's a wood grain. So I would have, well, they're in my cart right now. I want to have those kind of things at my fingertips so that I can give more quilting, not do like all over quilting, but I can customize areas of my quilt cards and let the paper do the work. Does that make sense? Oh, Dorothy, aren't they cute? They look like they're already decorated. Wait till I show you a little something else. Let's finish putting this together because I have a stepped up version, and I'm going to show you how I did what I did, not having a die that would do it for me. So here's, and Dorothy made a good point. When you're looking at the paper that you're going to use, look at the patterns in the designer series paper and see if it doesn't give you the feel that the tree is already decorated with your different, prints and stuff on them. Very good point, Dorothy. Thank you for sharing that. And again, I'm going to just use my gold foil here. Now you can get the foil in a silver too, I think. So if you wanted to do some snowflake cards, some winter cards, you could even use silver in your background to give it that really nice, cool feeling. Really carry the whole snowflake thing in. I'm going to flip this over, and again, I'm going to pop it up on the dimensionals. So I am working on a PDF. I got my pictures. I had to retake my pictures because when I went to see what my pictures look like, I only did part of them. I got so into making the card that I forgot to stop along the way and take a picture of what it looked like through the process. So then that's part of the reason why I ended up with 24. Some of that is because I loved it so much. Some of it was that I loved it so much I forgot to take pictures. Okay, so we're going to put this on here. I'm just looking for a nice even border. Going to pop up that same greeting. Here's something I want to show you about these labels. These labels are split. So you could run like ribbon or another piece, a strip of designer series paper through them. Very interesting that they did that with the dies. Just gives us, more options. Okay. So again, same sentiment. I'm not changing up these cards with every element. Keeping a lot the same. The quilt block is the only thing that changed. Okay. Now for the center, I'm going to take one of these gold sequins and they're going to share the same topper. Okay. So all the tops of my trees are going to share the same topper. I'm going to put that gold sequin right there in the center. And then, again, because I've got 3 different sizes, I'm just going to put a couple of more down here at the bottom. This, the bling brings your eye down here. And that is how simple our second card is. Now I want to show you a stepped up version. And it looks a little something like this. I was looking to see if I had any dies that were tree trimming dies. And lo and behold, I don't have any tree trimming dies. So I just kind of thought, oh, well, that's okay. But then, amazingly, my brain turned a light bulb on. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have an idea. So to get my trimming here, what I did was, now this is the gold, the brushed gold, like foil. I went back into my die archives. Now, when I first started in Stampin' Up, the ovals, the circles, the squares, these were the rage because you had a scalloped circle and then you had the, just the clean edge dies, and you could layer them, right? These were called layering circle dies. So what I did was I took a scallop, and the scallop, this size just depended on what circle I could put on the inside that nested kind of tight. And so this is the stitched, the Stylish Shapes circle, and look how that fits perfectly in there. So what I did was I ran these through my machine, and I got this, and I just removed the circle, and then I could lay my trim however I wanted to on my tree, and then I would just make a little fin and then snip it off there. And so I could make the trim on my tree from this circle here. So I want to ask you a question. What do you think, what does this gold circle remind you of? I want to see if, think Christmas, something from Christmas. But I was just wondering, what does that remind you of? And see if we're on the same wavelength. Anybody? It makes a really nice gold button. It would make a really nice gold center to like remember the ribbon dies that we had? Like, let's say you're going to make your own kind of an award, a rosette. It would make a really nice middle to a rosette. But what this reminded me of, and you could achieve it from putting a design in the center. But you know, at Christmas time in your stockings, you got the little gold coins of chocolate. I did. I don't know if anybody else got the gold coins of chocolate. But that's what this reminds me of, is those gold coins that came in the little mesh bag at Christmas time. So that was just my thought. But that's how I made my own trim. So if you don't have any dies that make trim for your trees, just find 2 circles that nest really close together and make your own. What I love is with this stylish shaped, the stitching, it actually came through. The one side comes through on the scalloped, really stepping up the look of the trimming. Oh, Linda. Oh, you guys, someone says a moon. I'm going to have to look that up. Well, Dorothy, I was thinking the same thing. It was just, I could have been hungry at the time when these came out. And I don't have, usually I have chocolate somewhere near me. I don't have any chocolate near me right now. So maybe I was hungry and that's why the gold coin popped into mind. But the 2 Lindas, you said Hanukkah Gelt. I am going to have to look that up. I would love to learn something new. So here's my simple tree. The trees are still adorable. And what really makes this fun is just the color combination. Stampin' Up, they're designers and putting their colors together. They know what they're doing. And it just makes it playful and bright, yet still kind of has that country vibe. I thought it looked, you know, the pattern was like looked like an applique. It was all pieced, but you could easily picture this tree skirt. I can't remember what they made with this design. But whether if it was like a table topper or whatever, you could have done this applique also. Now the best thing would be is for me to find I was gifted a bundle back, the quilt, remember the quilt bundle that had the star and the triangles and stuff? That was gifted to me because I was not card making at the time when that bundle came out. So I am blessed to have it now. But Stampin' Up! A year or 2 ago even had the triangle dies that had the stitching. So if you have those triangles, you could step up your trees by using that stitched triangle to cut your trees. Find one that works with the size of your pattern. And you could do that too. So I... But I didn't know anything about the Hanukkah thing. I love learning different things. And so this now I want to go research Hanukkah, because I love to learn what everything means, you know, the symbolism and what it means. So thank you guys for mentioning that, because that's how I'm going to spend my afternoon. I would love to learn more. So let's bring back in our cards. We started with a 4-patch, but our squares were on point. That was the simple version. This was stepped up with the stitched, the Stylish Shapes stitched square, and then stepped it up again by turning those squares into presents. And then you've got your regular Christmas tree, and you have your adorned Christmas trees. So I cannot wait to see what you do. You know what? Everything is a little close here. I can't wait to see what you do with your blocks. And don't think that this is just a Christmas layout. You could do the presents in, let's say it's a baby shower. You could do the presents in whatever color the baby shower is. You could do this white on white and make wedding cards. So think outside the box. I just happened to do some more Christmas cards. And, but don't get locked into thinking that they can only be used for Christmas, okay? Thank you for spending your Thursday afternoon with me. I will get the PDF done by the weekend, and the PDFs are always uploaded to the group Quilt Cards and More. It's a place where I can store those files. And that's where you're going to see people sharing the cards that they made, and you can get inspired, and you could be the inspiration by sharing your cards with us. So everybody have a blessed day. I look forward to my afternoons and Thursday evenings, catching up, seeing what you did, reading through the comments. Oh, we need to give some cards away. Okay. Let's see, what do I want the word to be? Okay, let's look at that block, the name of the block again. Okay, let's go triangles and squares, because that is the quilt block that inspired the cards. So triangles and squares is the key word, and I am happy to give away some of these quilt cards that I'm making, because I did make a lot. I need a lot, but I want to share too. So that is the key word, triangles and squares. Oh, thank you, Mary. So good to see you on here. Hi, C. Hi, Ruby. Okay, everybody, have a blessed day. Hi, Dawn. And I'll be checking in on you guys over in the group a little later, okay? All right, everybody, have a blessed day. Stay warm. Stay dry, depending on where you live.